Mrs. Johnson measured the diameters of some foreign coins in her coin collection. The set of rational numbers represents the diameters of the coins in inches, which list shows the diameters of the coins in order from least to greatest. Now, if you notice the options that it gives us, we have mixed formats. We have both fractions and whole numbers with decimals. So what we need to do is we need to convert our fractions into decimals because that's going to be the easiest route to take rather than converting our whole numbers with decimals into fractions, because then we'd have to find a common denominator. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to convert 7/8 into a decimal and then 11/8 into a decimal. So first I'm going to start with 7/8. So 7/8. How I'm going to convert this to a decimal is I need to divide it. So remember, my top number goes inside. My second number has to wait its turn. Now, obviously, 8 cannot go into 7, so we need to add a decimal point 0. 8 can go into 70 8 times because 8 times 8 is 64. Now I need to subtract those. 70 minus 64 gives us 6. I can't stop there because my goal is to keep subtracting until I end up with no remainder. So I need to add another 0 and bring it down. 8 can go into 60 7 times, which gives us 56. Subtract that and I'm going to get 4. Again, we need to add another 0 and bring it down. Now 8 can go into 40 5 times. So now I know 7/8 converts to 0.875. Now I'm going to look at my next one, which would be 11/8. So I'm going to move this over here to the side and we're going to focus on 11/8 now. So we need to convert 11/8 now into a decimal. So when I divide, I'm going to have 11 on the inside and 8 on the outside. Now 8 can go into 11 one time. 11 minus 8 is 3. I have a remainder, so I need to keep dividing until I end up with no remainder. So I bring down my 0. 8 can go into 30 3 times, and that's 24. 30 minus 24 is 6. Again, I have to add another 0. 8 can go into 60 7 times, which gives us 56. 60 minus 56 is 4. One more time, I've got to add a 0 and bring it down. 8 can go into 40 5 times, and 40 minus 40, we finally end with 0. So we can stop there. So 11/8 converts to 1.375. So if we look, we know that 7/8 converts to 0.875 and 11/8 converts to 1.375 right here. So now that I've converted them all to the same format is when I can go back and now try to solve my problem. So I know I have 0.875, 1.375, 1.25, and 0.5. Now my problem tells me to put it in order from least to greatest. So obviously 0.5 is going to be my least, 0.875 will be the next in line, 1.25 will be next, and then last comes 1.375. But if you notice, our answer looks different than our answer choices over here. Now remember, we converted fractions into decimals. So I know that my 0.875 is actually equivalent to 7/8, and my 1.35 is actually equivalent to 11/8. So if I look for 0.5, 7/8, 1.25, and then 11/8, I'll have my answer. And that should match D.